Hello and welcome back to TechWolf. In this video we will be going through questions, and these questions will be related to Comptia A Plus quarter 1. So no further ado guys, and let's get into it. First question is, a user is attempting to install a new application but receives an error stating insufficient privileges. What is the most likely solution? Update the application, run as administrator, reinstall the operating system, replace the hard drive, disable antivirus software. And correct answer here is run as administrator. Running the application as administrator grants the necessary privileges to install it. As reinstalling the operating system is not necessary for this issue, a hard drive replacement is irrelevant here, and updating the application wouldn't resolve permissions issue, and disabling antivirus software is unlikely to help in this scenario. Next question is, a user notices their laptop battery is not charging even though it is plugged in. What is the most likely issue? Corrupted operating system, overheating CPU or central processing unit, low battery health, faulty charging cable, or incorrect drivers. And here the correct answer is faulty charging cable, as faulty charging cable is common cause of a laptop not charging. A user reports their computer randomly freezes during use. Which of the following is the most likely cause? Overheating GPU, insufficient RAM, low disk space, weak Wi-Fi signal, or corrupted operating system. And correct answer here is overheating GPU, as an overheating GPU can cause system freezes and crashes, especially during graphic intensive tasks. Next question is, a user reports that their wireless mouse is not working. What is the most likely solution? Reinstall the wireless driver, update the operating system, adjust the screen resolution, replace the batteries, or replace the mouse. The correct answer here is replace the batteries, as dead or weak batteries in a wireless mouse are the most common cause of it not working. Replacing the mouse is only necessary if it's confirmed faulty. Updating the operating system is unnecessary for a mouse issue. A technician is installing new SSD in a desktop, but the system does not affect the drive. What is the most likely cause? Loose power connection, incorrect RAM size, failed CPU, corrupted operating system, or faulty monitor. The correct answer here is loose power connection. A loose power connection to the SSD would prevent it from being detected by the system. Question number 6. A user is unable to access the internet, but other devices on the same network work fine. What is the most likely cause? Incorrect network settings, corrupted operating system, outdated browser, faulty RAM, or ISP outage. And correct answer here is incorrect network settings, as incorrect network settings on the user's device could prevent internet access. Question number 7. A user is experiencing low frame rates while gaming. What is the most likely cause? Failing hard drive, low disk space, bad Wi-Fi signal, underpowered GPU, incorrect display resolution. And correct answer here is underpowered GPU. And an underpowered GPU will struggle to render games at a high frame rate. Next question. After setting up a new desktop, a user reports that the system is making a beep sounds but does not boot. What is the most likely issue? Faulty RAM, low disk space, corrupted operating system, bad Ethernet cable, incorrect display settings. And correct answer here is faulty RAM, as beeping sounds during boot often indicate a RAM issue. A technician installs a new sound card in desktop, but no sound is coming from the speakers. What is the most likely cause? And correct answer here is sound card drivers not installed. As without the correct sound card drivers, the system will not output audio. Question number 10. A user installs new software and afterward the computer keeps crashing. What is the most likely cause? And correct answer here is software compatibility issues. As compatibility issues with newly installed software can cause system instability and crashes. A technician notices that PC is making loud noise and the fan speed is very high. What is the most likely cause? Loose cables, failed power supply, overheating components, bad RAM, or corrupted BIOS. And correct answer here is overheating components, as high fan speed and noise are typically a response to overheating components. A technician is replacing a failed hard drive in a laptop. After installing a new hard drive, what is the next step? And the correct answer here is reinstall the operating system. After replacing the hard drive, the operating system needs to be reinstalled. And next question, a user's monitor displays no signal. Even though the computer is turned on, what is the most likely issue? Outdated drivers, faulty CPU, bad network card, corrupted operating system, loose video cable. And correct answer here is loose video cable, as loose video cable would prevent the monitor from receiving a signal. A corrupted operating system would affect booting but wouldn't cause a no signal message. A bad network card would affect internet connectivity, not the monitor display. And faulty CPU would prevent the system from powering on, and outdated drivers would affect performance but wouldn't cause the no signal error. A user complains that their computer is running very slow. What is the most likely cause? The correct answer here is insufficient RAM, as insufficient RAM can cause the computer to run slowly due to a lack of memory. So next question is question 15, and a user's computer is not connecting to the Wi-Fi network. What is the most likely issue? Faulty hard drive, loose video cable, disabled Wi-Fi adapter, corrupted operating system, or bad RAM? And correct answer here is disabled Wi-Fi adapter, as disabled Wi-Fi adapter would prevent the computer from connecting to the Wi-Fi. A user reports that their printer is printing blank pages. What is the most likely cause? Faulty monitor, empty ink cartridge, corrupted operating system, bad network card, and loose power cable. And here correct answer is empty ink cartridge. An empty ink cartridge would result in blank pages being printed. A user computer is not booting up. What is the most likely cause? Faulty power supply, loose video cable, corrupted operating system, bad network card, outdated drivers. And correct answer here is faulty power supply, as faulty power supply would prevent the computer from booting up. Question number 18. A technician is installing a new hard drive and wants to ensure that it boots properly. Which steps should be done first? Partition the hard drive, set the drive as a primary boot device in BIOS, format the hard drive, check for malware, or install the operating system. The correct answer here is set the drive as a primary boot device in BIOS. The system needs to boot from the correct device, and setting the hard drives as the primary boot device in the BIOS ensures this. And question number 19. A user is reporting poor Wi-Fi connectivity in their home. What should the technician check first? BIOS settings, ISP account status, printer connection, Ethernet cable, or router placement. Router placement, as router placement is crucial for ensuring a strong Wi-Fi signal. A user cannot access certain websites but can access others. What is the most likely cause? Damaged network cable, faulty RAM, low disk space, DNS issues, or failed hard drive. And correct answer here is DNS issues, as DNS issues can cause a user to fail to access specific websites. A failed hard drive would prevent the system from functioning. Faulty RAM would lead to system instability, not selective website issues. Low disk space would slow the system but not cause this issue. A damaged network cable would affect all internet access, not just some websites. And question number 21. A technician is installing GPU in a gaming PC or graphical processing unit or video card, and what must be considered before installation? Wi-Fi card installation, printer compatibility, power supply wattage, USB port compatibility, or screen resolution. And correct answer here is power supply wattage. The power supply must be adequate to support the power requirements of the new GPU. USB ports are irrelevant to the GPU installation. Screen resolution is an output of the GPU but isn't critical during the installation. Printers are unrelated to the GPU installations, and the Wi-Fi card is not connected when installing a GPU. A laptop is running but the screen remains blank after boot. What is the most likely cause? Faulty display cable, failed hard drive, bad RAM, overheating CPU, or incorrect boot sequence. And correct answer here is faulty display cable. A faulty display cable would prevent the screen from showing anything, even if the system is running. A bad RAM would prevent the system from booting altogether. A failed hard drive would still allow the BIOS to display, and an incorrect boot sequence would show an error message, not a blank screen. An overheating CPU would cause shutdown, not a blank screen. A user cannot connect to the network with an Ethernet cable, but Wi-Fi works fine. What is the most likely issue? Outdated BIOS, low disk space, faulty network card, bad Ethernet cable, or incorrect IP settings. And correct answer here is incorrect IP settings, as incorrect IP settings could prevent a wired connection while Wi-Fi still works. A user is experiencing frequent blue screens on their desktop. Which of the following is the most likely cause? Overheating CPU, corrupted browser, full hard drive, weak Wi-Fi signal, incorrect display settings. And correct answer here is overheating CPU, as overheating can cause system instability and frequent blue screens. After installing a new monitor, the display is very dim. What should the technician check first? Display cable connection, monitor brightness settings, graphics card, power supply, or operating system. And correct answer here is monitor brightness settings, as brightness settings should be checked first if the display is dim. The power supply would affect the entire system, not just the monitor's brightness. A loose cable could cause no display, not a dim one. The operating system wouldn't cause a dim display issue, and the graphics card affects display output but wouldn't likely cause dimness alone. A user connects a new printer to their computer, but it does not appear in the printer list. What should be checked first? Display resolution, power supply, BIOS settings, printer drivers, or RAM configuration. The correct answer here is printer drivers. Installing the proper drivers ensures the printer will be recognized by the system. A technician is upgrading a user's laptop RAM. After installation, the laptop fails to boot. What is the most likely cause? Faulty screen, outdated drivers, bad power supply, corrupted hard drive, or incompatible RAM. And the correct answer here is incompatible RAM, If the RAM is incompatible, the system will not boot properly. A technician installs a new SSD in a laptop, but it is not recognized by the system. What should be checked first? Display settings, printer drivers, firewall settings, BIOS password, or SATA cable connection. And the correct answer here is SATA cable connection, as SATA cable must be properly connected for the SSD to be recognized. And question number 29. A technician is troubleshooting a desktop that randomly shuts down. Which of the following is the most likely cause? Full hard drive, outdated display drivers, overheating CPU, incorrect boot order, or bad printer connection. And correct answer here is overheating CPU. An overheating CPU can cause random shutdowns to protect the system. A user cannot connect to the internet, but other devices on the network work fine. What should the technician check first? CPU temperature, sound settings, display drivers, network adapter settings, or printer connection. And correct answer here is network adapter settings. Incorrect network adapter settings can prevent internet access on one device. A user connects an external monitor to their laptop, but the display is blank. What should the technician check first? Display settings on the laptop, printer connection, BIOS settings, hard drive status, or power supply. And correct answer here is display settings on the laptop. The laptop display settings may need to be configured to extend or mirror the screen. A technician replaces laptop battery, but the system still does not hold a charge. What is the most likely cause? Incorrect RAM, outdated operating system, incompatible screen, malware infection, or faulty power adapter. And the correct answer here is faulty power adapter. A faulty power adapter could prevent the laptop from charging properly even with a new battery. A desktop PC shows a no boot device found after being moved to a new location. What is the most likely cause? Overheating CPU, incorrect screen resolution, loose SATA cable, outdated graphics card, or missing printer drivers. And correct answer here is loose SATA cable. The SATA cable may have come loose during the move, preventing the hard drive from being detected. And question 34. A laptop keyboard is unresponsive, but an external USB keyboard works fine. What is the most likely cause? A corrupted operating system, bad RAM, BIOS misconfiguration, faulty laptop keyboard, or malware infection. And the correct answer here is faulty laptop keyboard. If an external keyboard works but the built-in one does not, the laptop keyboard is likely faulty. A user reports that their desktop fan is extremely loud even when the system is idle. What should the technician check first? CPU temperature, faulty hard drive, network settings, display drivers, or loose cables. And correct answer here is CPU temperature. A high CPU temperature can cause the fan to run at high speeds to cool the system. And question number 36. A desktop computer is not powering on. The power cable is plugged in and the power outlet is working. What is the most likely issue? A corrupted BIOS, insufficient RAM, faulty power supply, outdated drivers, or bad hard drive. And correct answer here is faulty power supply. A faulty power supply would prevent the computer from turning on. And question number 37. A user is unable to connect their Bluetooth headset to a laptop. What should the technician check first? Ethernet connection, Bluetooth is enabled on the laptop, network drivers, hard drive status, and USB ports. The correct answer here is Bluetooth is enabled on the laptop. Ensuring Bluetooth is enabled in the first step in the troubleshooting Bluetooth device connections. And question 38. A laptop has an intermittent connection when connected to Wi-Fi. What is the most likely cause? Incorrect BIOS configuration, faulty keyboard, full hard drive, weak Wi-Fi signal, or bad display drivers. And the correct answer here is weak Wi-Fi signal. A weak Wi-Fi signal can cause intermittent connection issues. A user reports their laptop battery drains very quickly. What should be checked first? Power settings, BIOS version, display resolution, audio drivers, or network drivers. The correct answer here is you should check power settings. Adjusting power settings can help conserve battery life by reducing power consumption. A technician installs a second RAM module in desktop, but the system fails to boot. What is the most likely issue? Corrupted hard drive, outdated drivers, incompatible RAM, incorrect CPU settings, or faulty power supply. And the correct answer here is incompatible RAM, as incompatible RAM can prevent the system from booting properly. A faulty power supply would prevent the system from powering on at all, and corrupted hard drive wouldn't affect booting in this manner. Incorrect CPU settings wouldn't cause this specific issue, and drivers are irrelevant during the boot process. A technician needs to replace broken display on laptop. What is the most important consideration before proceeding? Power off the laptop, disable Wi-Fi, reinstall the operating system, upgrade the CPU, or remove the hard drive. And here the answer is power off the laptop. Powering off the laptop ensures safety when replacing hardware like a display. A user is experiencing poor sound quality from their desktop speakers. What should the technician check first? RAM capacity, monitor resolution, audio cable connection, CPU temperature, or BIOS version. And the correct answer here is audio cable connection. A loose or improperly connected audio cable can result in poor sound quality. A technician installs a new wireless adapter in desktop, but the system does not detect it. What should be checked first? BIOS password, printer status, wireless adapter drivers, CPU performance, or display settings. The correct answer here is wireless adapter drivers. Installing the correct drivers is crucial for the system to detect new hardware like a wireless adapter. A user's laptop is running slower than usual after updating the operating system. What should the technician check first? Printer drivers, available disk space, display resolution, monitor settings, or Ethernet cable. A correct answer here is available disk space. A lack of disk space can cause the system to slow down, especially after large updates. A desktop is randomly freezing and restarting. What is the most likely cause? Low Wi-Fi signal, printer drivers, full hard drive, incorrect display resolution, overheating CPU. The correct answer here is overheating CPU. Overheating can cause random freezes and restarts as the system tries to cool down. A technician is replacing the motherboard in a desktop. What is the most important consideration before doing so? Install new drivers, updating the operating system, disable Wi-Fi, power off and unplug the system, replace the CPU. The correct answer here is power off and unplug the system. The system must be powered off and unplugged to safely replace a motherboard. New drivers are installed after the motherboard is replaced. The CPU is not always replaced with the motherboard, and disabling Wi-Fi is unnecessary for motherboard replacement, and updating the operating system is not related to motherboard installation. Next question. A user laptop is not charging even though it is plugged in. What should the technician check first? Power adapter, display settings, network drivers, RAM configuration, or BIOS settings? A correct answer here is power adapter. A faulty power adapter is common cause of a laptop not charging. And next question. A technician installs a new SSD in a desktop, but the drive is not showing up in the operating system. What should they check first? Graphics card drivers, audio output, BIOS update, monitor settings, or SATA cable connection? And the correct answer here is SATA cable connection. Ensuring the SATA cable is properly connected is the first step in troubleshooting why the SSD isn't being recognized. A desktop computer is powering on but not displaying anything on the monitor. What should the technician check first? Printer drivers, RAM capacity, monitor power cable, CPU fan, or keyboard connection? And correct answer here is monitor power cable. If the monitor power cable is not connected or faulty, the screen will remain blank. Which of the following is an example of solid-state storage device? Blu-ray disc, hard disk drive, USB flash drive, CD-ROM? And correct answer is USB flash drive. USB flash drive is a solid-state storage device because it uses flash memory to store data, unlike hard drives or optical discs which uses mechanical parts or laser technology. Next question is, which of the following cable types is used to connect a computer to a wireless router? VGA, USB, HDMI, and Ethernet cable? And correct answer is Ethernet cable. An Ethernet cable is used to connect a computer to wireless router for wired network connections. Which of the following motherboard form factors is the most commonly used in desktop computers? Mini ATX, Micro ATX, Nano ATX, or ATX? And the correct answer is ATX. ATX is the most commonly used motherboard form factor in desktop computers due to its size and expandability options. Which of the following is the minimum number of drives required for a RAID 5 array? 5, 3, 2, or 4? And here correct answer is 3. RAID 5 requires a minimum of 3 drives to distribute parity and data across all drives, providing fault tolerance. Which of the following is primary purpose of DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol? Monitoring network traffic, encrypting data, assigning IP addresses to devices on a network, managing domain names? And correct answer is assigning IP addresses to devices on a network. DHCP automatically assigns IP addresses to devices on a network, simplifying network management. Which of the following is the maximum transfer speed of USB 3? 10 GB, 480 MB per second, 1 GB per second, or 5 GB per second? And correct answer is 5 GB per second. USB 3 supports maximum transfer speed of 5 GB per second, significantly faster than USB 2.0. Which of the following is an example of expansion card? Graphics card, CPU, SSD, or RAM? And correct answer here is graphics card. A graphics card is an expansion card that enhances the computer's ability to render graphics. Which of the following protocols is used for secure communication over the internet? SMTP, HTTP, FTP, SSL, TLS? And correct answer here is SSL, TLS. SSL and TLS protocols are used to secure communications over the internet by encrypting data. Which of the following is characteristic of multi-core processor? Increased power consumption, higher clock speed, improved energy efficiency, and single-threaded performance. And correct answer here is improved energy efficiency. Multi-core processors improved energy efficiency by distributing tasks across multiple cores, reducing the workload on each core. Which of the following tools is used to measure electrical voltage? Pliers, screwdriver, multimeter, or wire stripper? And the correct answer is multimeter. As multimeter is a tool used to measure electrical voltage, current and resistance. Which of the following is common use for a KVM switch connecting multiple computers to one keyboard, monitor and mouse? Connecting multiple printers to one computer? Connecting multiple USB devices to one computer? Or connecting multiple monitors to one computer? And correct answer here is connecting multiple computers to one keyboard, monitor and mouse. Which of the following is the primary function of a power supply unit, PSU, in a computer? To process data, to store data, to provide power to the computer components, or manage network connections? And correct answer here is to provide power to computer components. The PSU converts electrical power from an outlet into a usable power for the computer's internal components. Which of the following is a characteristic of DDR4 RAM compared to DDR3 RAM? Higher data transfer rate, lower latency, lower data transfer rate, higher power consumption. And here the correct answer is higher data transfer rate. And DDR4 RAM has a higher data transfer rate compared to DDR3, allowing for faster performance. Which of the following is used to cool a CPU? Network card, power supply, hard drive, heatsink and fan. Obviously, logical answer is heatsink and fan. A heatsink and fan are commonly used to dissipate heat from the CPU, preventing it from overheating. Which of the following is a common file system used by Windows operating system? NTFS, ext4, FAT32, or NFS Plus? And here, correct answer is NTFS. Submit NTF's new technology file system is a default file system used by Windows operating system for its advanced features and security. Which of the following is an example of an input device? Printer, monitor, keyboard, or speaker? And here correct answer is keyboard. As keyboard is an input device used to enter data into a computer. Which of the following is the purpose of thermal paste in a computer? So, what thermal paste is used for in a PC? To insulate electrical components, to secure the CPU to connect motherboard, to prevent dust buildup, to improve heat transfer between the CPU and heat sink. And correct answer here is to improve the heat transfer between the CPU and heatsink. As thermal paste improves heat transfer between the CPU and the heatsink, ensuring efficient cooling. Which of the following is a common use for NAS device? Managing network traffic, running virtual machines, hosting websites, or storing and sharing files over network. And here correct answer is storing and sharing files over a network. A NAS device is used to store and share files over a network, providing centralized data storage. And next question, which of the following is characteristics of an SSD compared to an HDD? Larger physical size, higher power consumption, slower data access speed, faster data access speed. So here logically faster data access speed. Which of the following is the purpose of a post power on self test? to configure the BIOS settings, to load the operating system, to check the hardware components for errors, to update the firmware. The correct answer is to check the hardware components for errors. Post is a diagnostic test that checks the hardware components of a computer for errors before loading the operating system. Which of the following is common use for VPN, virtual private network? Encrypting email messages, managing network traffic, blocking malware, securing internet connections over public networks. And correct answer is securing internet connections over public networks, as a VPN secures internet connections over public networks by encrypting data, ensuring privacy and security. Which of the following is characteristics of UEFI, Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, compared to BIOS? So, which of the following is a characteristics of UEFI? No graphical interface, supports larger hard drives, limited to 16-bit mode, or limited to 2 TB hard drives. And here correct answer is supports larger hard drives. UEFI supports larger hard drives over 2 TB and provides a graphical interface unlike the traditional BIOS. Which of the following is the primary purpose of a firewall? Monitoring network traffic, encrypting data, blocking unauthorized access to a network, or managing IP addresses. And the correct answer is blocking unauthorized access to a network, as firewall blocks unauthorized access to a network, protecting it from potential threats. Which of the following is a common use for a hypervisor? Managing network traffic, storing files, running multiple operating systems on a single physical machine, or for encrypting data. And here, hypervisor is always responsible for running multiple operating systems on a single physical machine. Hypervisor allows multiple operating systems to run on a single physical machine by creating and managing virtual machines. Which of the following is a characteristic of a cloud computing? Requires physical hardware on site, provides on-demand access to computing resources, requires manual updates, limited to local network access. And here correct answer is provides on-demand access to computing resources, as cloud computing provides on-demand access to computing resources over the internet, eliminating the need for physical hardware on site. Which of the following is common use for a proxy server? Caching web content to improve access speed, blocking malware, managing IP addresses, or encrypting data. And here correct answer is caching web content to improve access speed. A proxy server caches web content to improve access speed and reduce bandwidth usage. Which of the following is a characteristics of an IPv6 address compared to an IPv4 address? Longer address lengths, limited to 32 bits, limited to 128 bits, shorter address lengths. And here correct answer is longer address lengths. And IPv6 addresses are 228 bits long, providing a larger address space compared to the 32-bit IPv4 addresses. Which of the following is the primary purpose of DNS, Domain Name System Server? Blocking malware, encrypting data, translating domain names into IP addresses, managing network traffic. And here correct answer is translating domain names into IP addresses. DNS server translates domain names into IP addresses, allowing users to access websites using human-readable names. Which of the following is a characteristics of a laser printer compared to an inkjet printer? Lower print quality, uses liquid ink, slower print speed, uses toner cartridges. And the correct answer is uses toner cartridges. as laser printers use toner cartridges and typically offer faster print speeds and higher print quality compared to inkjet printers. Which of the following is common use for a UPS, uninterruptible power supply? Providing backup power during power outage, storing files, encrypting data, managing network traffic. And here correct answer is providing backup power during power outage. A UPS provides backup power to keep devices running during power outage, preventing data loss and hardware damage. Which of the following is a characteristic of a virtual private cloud, VPC? Limited to a local network access, requires manual updates, requires physical hardware on site, provides isolated cloud resources within a public cloud. And here correct answer is provides isolated cloud resources within a public cloud. A VPC provides isolated cloud resources within a public cloud, offering the benefits of cloud computing with added security and control. Which of the following is a common use for a load balancer? Distributing network traffic across multiple servers, blocking malware, managing IP addresses, or encrypting data. And correct answer is distributing network traffic across multiple servers. A load balancer distributes network traffic across multiple servers to ensure optimal performance and reliability. Which of the following is a characteristic of a thin client? High power consumption, operates independently, requires powerful hardware, or relies on a central server for processing. And here correct answer is relies on a central server for processing. As a thin client relies on a central server for processing and typically has minimal hardware requirements. Which of the following is common use for VLAN, Virtual Local Area Network? Encrypting data, blocking malware, segmenting a network into smaller isolated networks, or managing IP addresses. And here correct answer is segmenting a network into smaller isolated networks. A VLAN segments a network into smaller isolated networks, improving security and network management. Which of the following is a characteristic of a mesh network? Single point failure, limited to wired connection, decentralized control, and centralized control. And here correct answer is decentralized control. A mesh network has a decentralized control with each node capable of communicating with other nodes, providing redundancy and reliability. Which of the following is common use for NAS, network attached storage device? Running virtual machines, managing network traffic, hosting websites, storing and sharing files over network. And we already had a similar question, so which of the following is a common use for NAS, network attached storage device? And obviously it is storing and sharing files over a network. A NAS device is used to store and share files over a network, providing a centralized data storage. And which of the following is a characteristic of a hybrid drive? Requires external power supply, combines SSD and HDD technologies, uses only SSD technology, uses only HDD technology. And correct answer here is combines SSD and HDD technologies. A hybrid drive combines SSD and HDD, or solid-state drive and HDD hard drive disk technologies to provide both speed and large storage capacity. Which of the following is primary function of GPU, graphics processing unit? Managing network connections, processing graphical data, running virtual machines, or storing data. And here correct answer is processing graphical data. as GPU processes graphical data, enhancing the performance of visual tasks such as rendering images and videos. Which of the following is common use for an RJ45 connector? Connecting monitor to computer, connecting a keyboard to a computer, connecting printer to a computer, and connecting network cables. And most likely answer here would be connecting network cables, as RJ45 connector is on both sides of all Ethernet network cables. An RJ45 connector is commonly used to connect network cables for Ethernet connections. Which of the following is a characteristic of a dual channel memory configuration? Uses two memory modules for increased performance, uses single memory module, or requires ECC memory, and limited DDR2 RAM. And here correct answer is uses two memory modules for increased performance, as dual channel memory configuration uses two memory modules to increase data transfer rates and improve performance. Which of the following is the primary purpose of surge protector? Providing backup power, protecting devices from voltage spikes, storing data, managing network traffic. And correct answer here is protecting devices from voltage spikes, as the surge protector protects electronic devices from voltage spikes, preventing a damage.